Metabase is a tool for asking questions about your data, like how many customers do we have, or what's our total revenue, and building data visualizations and reports. The thing you'll be working with the most in Metabase is probably dashboards. They are like reports. They display a collection of charts and sometimes text and images, and you can build a dashboard for your company metrics, or a dashboard about sales, a dashboard about performance of a marketing campaign, or what have you. So you use dashboards to organize related charts into reports. Dashboards can also have dashboard filters that control what data is displayed on the chart. For example, I can select date in the last 12 months and product categories of gadgets and gizmos. And now every chart in this dashboard only shows the data about gadgets and gizmos for the last 12 months. To build a dashboard, you of course start by making a single chart. In Metabase, those are called questions because they are questions about your data. Sometimes we also call them queries. For example, how many products of each category did we sell throughout the year? There are two ways to ask questions in Metabase. You can build a question using the graphical query builder, where you assemble a query from building blocks. Pick the data to start with, add filters, summaries, and maybe other things. For example, I'm going to look at the data about orders over the last 12 months and compute a count by month and product category. Once you build your query, you can visualize the results as a chart, and you can change the chart type and chart settings to customize the look. Once you're happy with your chart, you can save it to a dashboard. You could also just write queries in SQL, and you'll have the same visualization options, but you don't need to know SQL or even what SQL is to use Metabase. In fact, if you use the query builder instead of SQL to ask questions, you'll get a lot more functionality out of Metabase, like drill down. Let me get back to my query builder question. I can now click on a chart and drill down to individual records to get more insight into my data. So, to make a chart, you build a question, pick visualization, and optionally save it to a dashboard. Then you can keep making charts to build up your dashboard. Another important concept in Metabase is models. These are derived, cleaned up datasets that you can use as starting points for your charts instead of the raw data in a database. For example, I can have a survey response model that incorporates information about a customer, their subscription plan, their transaction history, together with their service responses, all in one package. You don't need to build models to get started with Metabase, but once you get a handle on the kinds of reports you want to build, models become very helpful. Another helpful concept is metrics. These are saved, reusable calculations that go beyond standard stuff like sum or average. For example, maybe your company has a concept of customer satisfaction score, and so you could create this metric once, and then people could use it in the query builder to build their own charts, like satisfaction score by plan. The work you do in Metabase, like dashboards, but also questions and models and metrics, is organized in collections. Think of collections sort of like folders in your file system. Here's a collection that has several dashboards in it and some models and metrics as well. And each dashboard has multiple charts. You also get your personal collection that no one else besides you and the instance admin has access to. Here's mine. And that's where you can mess around. For example, you can take a question that someone else made, change some stuff, maybe change the visualization, maybe add some filters, and save it to your personal collection. The original chart remains untouched, and only you can see the changes that you made. So, questions, dashboards, models, metrics, and collections are the main entities in Metabase. Check out the video description for links to more resources, and happy dashboarding!